So you want to know if it's time to end your relationship. Should you or should you not stay in this relationship? Now, this is going to be a difficult video to create because there are a lot of sensitivities and layers to explore. So this is a beginning video. There'll be other videos to follow up. This is setting the stage, offering some introduction to this topic. How do you know when it's time to end a relationship? If you consult ChatGPT for your mental health and you're on a regular basis asking it questions about what you should or shouldn't do in your life, then maybe this video is for you, because I want to empower you, and or you need to empower yourself to discover your own innate wisdom to make choices. And it's not going to come from external sources. It's not going to come from me. It's not going to come from ChatGPT. It's not going to come from astrology. It's not going to come from the I Ching or any other kind of divination. I remember years ago, I used to consult the I Ching, which I like the I Ching. I don't know if you know anything about it. It is based upon a particular scientific structure of mathematical probabilities, but the actual answers that it gives you to tell you choices to make in your life, that actually is random. And many of us who have attachment injuries, that's the work that I focus on. And I don't know if I said this earlier already. I'm Alan Robarge, an attachment-focused psychotherapist and a relationship educator. And I help people who struggle with attachment injuries discover their innate, true voice and wisdom to be able to make choices that are in their best interest and not to be suffering from the symptoms of attachment injuries, which are chronic doubting oneself, which are overriding red flags, denying reality, and creating alternate versions of what happened in order to create a narrative, a romantic narrative to make a relationship work. Also employing and using misplaced loyalty, feeling incredibly connected to another person and looking out for their well-being in a way that compromises your own boundaries and well-being, and having a almost blind loyalty and accepting crumbs of relating where there is an extreme imbalance to your emotional needs being expressed, heard, valued, understood. And if we ask you about your inner world, about another person, the person you're in relationship or family or friends, inquiring about who are you, and please share your experience. Chances are you don't have too many people who do this. And if you come from some kind of history of attachment injuries or insecure relationships, of people who are there, not there. They're there, but they're not really there for you. There's an interaction. There's some minimal engagement. There is a generic commitment to be together, but in the sense of nourishment, being fed, being receiving emotional connection that makes you feel uplifted and safe and where you can trust. And there's a consistency of that kind of emotional connection and nourishment. Many of us don't have that. And instead of realizing that there's other people in the world and other type of relationships that we might not ourselves know how to create, that we can create other types of relationships that do bring us emotional connection, nourishment, and where we do feel that we find a few people, not in abundance, but in general, we could find a few people who will ask us about ourselves. But because we are so frightened of risking giving up on the other person, on the relationship, on the hope, on the possibility, on the potential, even giving up on our own dream, which feels like giving up on ourselves. And for many of us, we have dumbed down, we have talked ourselves out of, we have negated, we have denied our needs to the point that we don't even know we have needs. We can't even name those needs. We don't believe that we can voice them. We don't really believe that the other person will match those needs. And as a result, the process of this is that we have betrayed ourselves. We feel empty. we feel depleted. We feel we don't deserve anything better. Now, you do not have to agree with me in what I'm sharing. There might be bits and pieces of what I'm describing. I'm explaining a range of symptoms and behaviors and mindsets and core beliefs, and they might not all fit for you. But what I'm hoping is that you can begin to identify the ones that do fit for you and then really hone in on and focus how is that changing your behavior, or how are you using that, perhaps an adaptive strategy like overcompensating, one-sided relating. I know, I'll just do all the work. You don't even have to do anything. I will respond for both of us. I will take your lead and just take myself out of the equation and enter a state of waiting. So this video, the opening of the video is, how do you know if you need to end a relationship? If you are stuck in a stay, leave, stay, leave, stay, leave, stay, leave, or stay, leave, looping. And you do this for 4 months. You do this for 6 months. You do this for a year and a half. You do this for 3 years. We step back. We have perspective. What is the quality of your mind? What is the state of your mind? Stay, leave, maybe this, maybe that, maybe this, maybe that. This chronic doubt and chronic looping is an indicator, as an assessment, that in and of itself is the information that you need. And what is your tolerance for stay, leave, relating? Or we also call it on again, off again. We just broke up, now we're back together. And the moment you get back together and you think that that's what you want, and then you immediately call your friend and you say, I don't feel like this is really what I want. And then you go back to your partner that you're trying to repair things with, and you kind of over exaggerate a little bit. Oh no, this is what I want. This is, you have to sell it. And then you say, well, I'm a little doubt, but we're going to make it work. We're really going to make it work. We're going to make it work. So it's a lot of hype. You're living in a state of hype. Now, you also might be living in a state of ambivalent attachment, which is come here, go away, come here, go away. Yes, I want to connect. No, I don't want to connect with you. Yes, let's practice being close. No, I'm too frightened of being vulnerable. Oh, I would love to get to know you. I don't think you're a safe person. Why are we even talking? And this is just living in us. And it doesn't mean that it needs resolved. It doesn't mean that it's going to resolve itself. That in and of itself is the information. That's the assessment. That's what you've created. This is the relationship. Now, am I saying that people don't change? Well, that's a whole nother category. And I'll make a video about that too. That many of us get side swiped, hijacked with this lying to ourselves about change and investing in change. A good example is that if a friend brings up, I think that you might need to end this relationship. I don't think this relationship is good for you. Let's say it's a friend, let's say it's a family member, and you find yourself getting very defensive and reactionary, and you're triggered, and you have very strong presentation. You're passionate about people change, and I'm not going to give up on somebody. And, don't want anybody to give up on me. And I have a history of abandonment, and people betrayed me and gave up on me. And I will not give up on this particular partner. And I believe that we can change and they can change. And I'm going to dig my heels in the sand because I value change. That's a choice. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But look at the level of irritation and frustration and the profound big energy that it requires. And this goes back to a misplaced loyalty, where we are loyal to the idea, to the potential, to the fantasy, to the projection, to the possibility, to glimpses of this person's betterment, their goodness. Sometimes it moves into almost like a spiritual realm where we overlook the behaviors, the skills, the arguments, the fights, the tension, the chronic not getting our needs met. And we say, but through the lens of humanity, through a spiritual lens of empathy, we see the other person's goodness, and we allow ourselves that we're holding out for their greater self to someday show up and have skills to be in relationship. And again, it's your choice if you want to do this. Oftentimes, it's really not about the other person and your belief in change. It's your unwillingness to feel grief and end. It's the fact that you don't have skills to end. It's the fact that you're so frightened of what's underneath that ending that you're willing to cling and grasp and hang on so tightly to the possibility of change. Change is not something that will happen because you are white knuckling, gripping for it to happen. It's something that organically will evolve and be a byproduct of interaction and showing up and participation. And this requires an equality of investment. And chances are, if you're watching this video and you struggle to know, should I end? Is this relationship worth it? Maybe I should just wait until the holidays. Maybe I should wait until the kids are out of school. Maybe let's exhale. And this is a chronic way that we repeatedly put our life on hold and deny our needs, deny ourselves, and even deny reality. And the byproduct is ongoing daily grief. The byproduct is feeling crushed. The byproduct is feeling stuck. The byproduct is you lose a connection within yourself, and you feel empty, and you feel vacant. You feel like a zombie, like a ghost. And I don't need to remind you, I bet you feel exhausted. This drains our energy. And it's a form of starvation. It's like emotional starvation, relational starvation, responsive starvation. People being surrounded by people who don't give back. And many of us with attachment injuries have a tolerance to normalize not receiving back emotional nourishment. More videos to come just like this one. I'm really going through the symptoms, the behaviors, the mindsets, the core beliefs. How does this keep happening? And we get stuck in this place of stay, leave, stay, leave. This is the beginning of a series of videos on this topic. Please, in the comments, share your reflection. Share one of these ideas that I named and how it relates to your life. Talk about what does it mean to be stuck in this pattern of should I stay or should I leave? Please consider looking at how you externally are grasping for direction from others, from Chat GPT, from astrology, constantly asking, trying to figure out, because you are not centered and returning to your own innate wisdom, your intuition, your nervous system telling you. It would be lovely if it worked out. We don't have the data to show it'll work out. It doesn't appear we have skills. It doesn't appear change is happening. And I have this profound, amazing, over-the-top tolerance to endure being emotionally malnourished, emotionally undernourished, relationally undernourished, what we call accepting crumbs. And I am just going to stay here for months and months and years. Some of us do this for a long time. It's painful, and it tarnishes our spirit. I love the phrase wilt. It feels like we wilt. It feels like we die inside. And when we're in that place of an annihilation of a sense of self, so disconnected, don't know who I am, I have not had my needs, I have buried my needs so much that I don't even know my voice anymore. I don't know how to ask for ending. I don't know how to create ending. And I don't know how to trust. I can't trust my choices. I don't trust myself because there's no self here. Very painful. Very, very, very painful. Thank you for listening. More videos to come on the same topic of how do we know when to end a relationship. Thank you for listening.